Teachers, it's time to transition your courses to Brightspace. So let us check out a little prezi I made for faculty at the last, the Thursday sort of office hours for English. But we couldn't send out that video, so I had a request to turn this into a video for you. And so I'm going to do that. So this is just a little prezi that talks about how to transition your courses to Brightspace, and it goes over some of the basic steps. And if there's time, I don't want to make this too long, I can also go over some of the basic steps to getting started. So, alright, that was blurry. But okay, so step 1. So after you finish your Brightspace training deadline, you'll want to figure out the stuff that you want to move into Brightspace. There will be shareable shells for faculty, so you can do that. Trish O'Connor is gathering those materials, but if you have a shell that you really want to keep, or if you have materials you want to keep, I personally have shells for face-to-face classes that I'm transitioning over because they have the PowerPoints I've used and everything in there, so I just want them to get moved over to Brightspace for that time in the future when we are back to face-to-face teaching. So your first step, finish your Brightspace training. The deadline is October 4th. And then make a list of materials to transfer into Brightspace. And what's today? October 2nd? No pressure. Make a list of the materials that you want to transfer. The most important thing is that you include the CRN, and then also the term and the year, and then in your Brightspace request, in your Blackboard transition request. And sometimes it's hard to find the old CRNs in Blackboard, but this little gear on top here will show you old classes that you might want to copy over. So like for example, oopsies, this isn't what I wanted to show you. My computer's slow. Over here, this is the Blackboard page. If you click on this, you can see your older courses, and you can have them show. So I don't know if everybody knows how to do that, and that's why I wanted to show you how to do that. And then this little 5-digit CRN number, it either starts with a 7 or it starts with an 8. So I think it starts with a 7 if it's fall, 8 if it's spring, and then I'm not sure what it starts with if it is for the summer. So, and then once you gather up those materials, once you start gathering up those materials, you can move on to step 2 and figure out where you would like to copy that material. So you can archive these courses by saving them to your computer if you want for later use, or you can move them over to Brightspace. I'm going to go over the step of moving it to Brightspace because that's what I'm doing. If you want help saving it to your computer, you can email me and I could try to find out info from DL on how to do that. Or you could also make a DL request too. So what I did when I was making all these copies this took me about an hour to really focus and figure out what do I want to transition over. What materials do I want from face-to-face to online courses? And so I made a table, and then I put the course that I wanted to copy over here, and then I put the destination. So if it's an individual shell, which means it's not a department shell, and you're not teaching it in the spring, what you can do is have the destination be development. And the development area is in the same website on Brightspace. In Learn, we had a dev site, but it was a different URL. So that's a change for Brightspace. So figure out where do you want to send it, and then I can also show you. So if this is my Brightspace page, don't be afraid. Just log in, mycourses.cnm.edu. There's probably already stuff in there. What DL has started doing is copying over the courses from 2020 I'm already teaching in Brightspace, so I already have people putting in, like, turning in assignments, and you can see that these are the discussions and these are the assignments people have turned in. But if you're not teaching, you're still going to have materials in here, and they are just copying them over little by little. Let me see, I wonder if this has stuff in it. Let us see. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. I wish my computer wasn't so slow, but it's always slow when I use this screencasting thing. So, in coursework, you would go on content to find your learning modules. And I am teaching this course in Learn, and the stuff has not been copied over. So that's good to know. For you too, so it might be empty or it might not be empty. They are starting to transfer stuff over, but not all of it has been moved over. So, okay, back to this course copy destination. I also wanted to show you something else. This is how you get to your main page of Brightspace. Click on that C&M icon, and then if you go, sorry, this computer, you can hear it thinking. It's crunching. The development area, so you can request for your materials to be transferred over to the dev area, to the individual dev area. If you're not teaching them in the spring of 2021, and that is like your workspace to create and develop classes that you are going to later deploy. The sandbox, I think, is the area that people were using for the training. You don't have to copy stuff to your sandbox. Go ahead and copy it to your dev area. Those were the instructions that I got from Mary Jo in distance learning. So you can either copy it to the dev shell, or you can copy it straight into if you are teaching in the spring and you do need to move your materials into here, then you can put what you'll need to put on your course copy request is the title, the term, and then the CRN is right here. So this little tab will help you navigate between those different areas to figure out where do I want my materials to go. So it's already like a lot of things, right? Like we have all these different tabs you could put your material. So that's why step 2 is just figure out where it's going to go. Don't even start copying yet, and make yourself a table. And then that'll make it easier for you to go in and make your requests as quick as possible. Because you don't want to spend 5 hours doing this. Like, boo. So like for me, example, I have this shell that I want to copy into this shell. So DL will not copy anything into your spring 2021 area. You need to either make those shells or copy something into them. What DL is doing is very slowly copying over everything into the fall and spring areas. And summer. So they are archiving those materials for you automatically. Like they said during the chess meeting, they would archive them, but they are not placing anything in here. So it's your job to figure out what you want to put in here for your classes. So once you figure out where everything is going to go, you're on to step 3. Make your course copy requests. So I wonder if I can copy. No, I can't copy this. But I'll show you the page in a second. So make your course copy requests here. It's a little bit annoying because you have to do them one by one. And I was archiving some old stuff, and so I probably made like 7 different requests, and I had to do them one by one. So right now we have our open time to make requests between October 1st and October 15th. This is the window for chess to make these requests. This is when DL is dedicated to making the requests for chess. So get them in now if you haven't already. And If you're transferring materials from a course you're not teaching in the spring of 2021 and you taught those materials before 2020, you have to archive them yourself, like I was doing with the stuff from 2019. Last day for Brightspace transition request, November 30th. So that is the last day that they will guarantee if you put in a request, they will be able to move it over. Because it takes a few days for them to actually copy stuff over from Blackboard to Brightspace. It's just kind of a cumbersome multi-step process. So that's why they need that time. Alright, step 4. So what you want to do is once you make those course copy requests, this is my advice. This is not what they told me. But my advice is go in and make sure your stuff is in there. And if it's not in there by like October 15th when we have our window, then follow up and ask, do you know when this is going to happen? Has the process started? Just be proactive to make sure that your materials get moved over, because they're doing the best they can, but there's an opportunity for human error, and you want to make sure that your stuff gets copied over. You don't want to lose it. So go through your copy requests and save that table that you made and make sure that all the material you wanted in Blackboard got moved into Brightspace where you requested. And then, so to double check that, you'll want to log into mycourses.cnm.edu, review your courses in the development area. So I already showed you how to do this, so we don't have to do that. But yeah, this is your CRN, yada yada. Okay, double check after October 15th and follow up. They didn't say that. That's not one of their steps. That's one of my steps where I'm like, just make sure that it happens. And then clean up your courses. So step 5 is to clean up your courses in your transition to Brightspace. So your blogs and journals will not transfer over correctly. If you had any assignments saved as blogs and journals, the material won't transfer over. You'll have like a placeholder, but the content, the questions that you created in Blackboard are not going to transfer over. So you want to archive those on your own, or leave yourself enough time to go into Blackboard and find what's missing in Brightspace and copy it and plug it over. So you're going to have to use a different tool for those activities. Private discussion area can be a substitute for some activities. I can show you how to make that later. Double check your links in your courses. This is all. How do you clean it up? Double check your links. Rethink your module structure. You have time. And then also leave yourself enough time to learn about the tools in Brightspace, because there's cool stuff. I realize it's kind of a short amount of time. I didn't get to figure out all the bells and whistles, but maybe over the summer. I'm having a stress headache just thinking about it. Okay, step 6, ask for help if you're stuck. Work with a peer, contact DL, and your Brightspace transition coaches. These are your Brightspace transition coaches. We have 7 in CHSS, and they have been enlisted to help you. Is enlisted the right verb? I don't know. Maybe not. But we've all been recruited. I don't know. But ask us for help. We're here. We are here, and we have gone through some training, and we can help. Step 7, have a good winter break. Can you believe it? There's hope. So just keep working, keep plugging away, and then let me show you that area really quick on where to. I'm going to run out of time because I only have a 15-minute screencast video app. But this is what the Brightspace form looks like, and then how I get to it, because I never remember the URL, nor do I save it, because who has time for that? I just go here. Course, copy, oopsies. Request form. See, you can tell I've searched for it so many times. And go. I'm going to run out of time. I have 20 seconds. I think it's this one. On my computer. I'm going to run out of time. I have 7 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. This is where you do it, okay?